Hi, welcome back to our 1 o'clock session. E-commerce Council of the PDMI has put this together. My name is Thomas Farrar. I'm the Chief Content Officer of the PDMI. We thank you all for being here. We thank this great group for being here. Should be a lot of tremendous insights about e-commerce, about various facets of e-commerce. Ranjit from Flatworld is on our e-commerce council, and he had the kind of original ideation of this, so thank you for that, and thank you for bringing together such a great group. We also have to thank our education sponsor, Blue Water, who has helped us put all this together this week. They've sent us a few videos, and we're playing one at each session, so here's our next one.
Hey guys, Randy Jackson here.
Welcome to the future of pain relief.
At Tommy John, a lot goes into our underwear before you do.
But now I've found my bubbly side with SodaStream.
Ouch!
Philips Air Fryer is the original and the very best.
Kid Rock!
Hey, why is everybody so loud in infomercials?
But wait, there's more!
Yeah.
Woo!
So thank you again to Blue Water for their support. Retail is dead, what the Jenner-Kardashians know that you don't. And to bring it all to you, as our moderator, a true legend in the industry, Direct Response Hall of Famer, Jack Kirby, and I'm gonna give it to you.
That just means old. Thank
A
you.
legend.
Thank you. Good to see you. How was lunch, by the way, for those of you who got some? This is where you get to review. It was good? What did you have? Nice. I'm hoping that they maybe have some. We'll go up after, guys. Well, thank you for thanks for joining us today. It's always hard when you have the after lunch crowd, especially if it was a good lunch. You know, it's kind of like moving a little slower. We'll try to get you going and keep you engaged. So, as Tom said, and Tom, thank you, by the way, for putting together a great conference, as you always do, you and John. Just some testimony to what happens at these conferences. I'm happy to be up here, but I met Ranjit at this conference last year, and we've subsequently started doing business together, and we talk, very frequently about what's going on in business. Great way to meet people and to network and find new ways to do business. So thank you for making the time to travel wherever you travel from today. So we have a good panel of folks that I've met just in the course of the last year. Thank you, Ranjit, for organizing this. And so let's start on the end. For those of you who've been to a dinner party in LA, I don't know if I've ever been, there's kind of a rude dinner party game called Who Are You and Why Should I Care? So on these sometimes panel, let's do a sort of like a little more polite version of that. Who are you and what could you possibly do for my business? Andy, why don't you introduce yourself and give us a quick overview.
My name is Andy Farrar. I'm the managing partner of HandsOnConsulting, and we help coordinate and direct-to-consumer campaigns. We got our start by launching a little $100 million product called Floam, and it opened our eyes to what was possible in this arena. And at that time, it was television and a phone line, and a website was extra. And the business has changed a little bit, but by staying in touch with great people and great companies, we've been able to keep ourselves up to speed, and we launch an array of, we launch a small group of very good products.
All right, Marianne, this is the lightning round.
I'm Marianne Bautista. I'm the founder and president of Bautista Direct Marketing. Our legacy business is sort of traditional DR, radio, started in radio, TV, but we've made a pivot recently towards, we call it YTOO, YouTube Organic Optimization, because that is where consumers are.
Ranjit.
Hi, I'm Ranjit. I'm a founder of I'm a founder and CEO of Flatworld Group. I've been in e-commerce all my life, almost 25 years. And my company, Flatworld Group, helps brands market products on Amazon. Amazon is super complicated, and we provide our clients a full service, including Amazon advertising.
Okay, and I'm Jack Kirby. I'm a CEO of a group called TCN, the Creative Network, which is a consortium of 26 agencies that specialize in everything from influencer to video creative and all the potential direct channels that you can operate in, and I'm happy to be here. one of the reasons Ranjit was kind enough to ask if I would do this is both because I span a few decades. I remember I used to be the youngest guy in the room, and I'm still coming back every year. And I was just telling someone on the way in here, if I wake up in the morning and I'm not wearing a toe tag, it's going to be a great day. So I'm sticking around, but more importantly, I come to stay current and stay connected to what's going on, because the landscape is changing so fast in 2024. I had to think about that for a word. What year is it? 2024. And so this group of people are really well wired, well connected to what's going on. And we talked about, this premise: is retail dead? What do the Kardashians know? I worked with those guys for about 10 years back in the early days, put Kris Jenner on television for the first time, and we worked together for about 10 years with the former Bruce, now Caitlyn Jenner. And we had some good success. They went on, the Kardashian show was born. And I remember running into Kris on a set of Dancing with the Stars about 10 years ago. We were there for different reasons. Neither one of us was dancing, fortunately. And we remember talking to her, and I remember, they were just really taking flight with their commerce. And I said, so what's your plan? I mean, you kind of know media, you've been around this, you got a lot of attention with the Kardashian show. Are you gonna sell at retail? And she said, this is maybe 2012-ish or so. She said, oh, honey, no, retail's dead. It's about influence. And I thought, well, retail isn't technically dead, but it is about influence. And we're talking about leveraging all the different things that people in this room do to create commerce. So Ranjit, give me the report card. What's going on in retail as we know it?
As you said, retail is not dead, but it is suffering. I think after COVID, I worked for Canada's largest departmental store retailer running their marketplace business. And after COVID, they never came back. The amount of revenue that you used to generate shrunk quite a bit, but the investment didn't. You still have the store people, bunch of inventory. So they're kind of figuring out how do we stay in business and grow the business, knowing that the retail is going down. So a lot of retailers, and I can give you a dozen examples, have changed their strategy. So they double down on e-commerce. And e-commerce includes not just having your Macy's.com site where you can buy the product, but adding to it a drop ship.
So you're saying that the future of retail are retailers engaging in e-commerce?
It's omni-channel, right? So everything the consumer will interact with you to buy a product is omni-channel. So marketplaces, they've added marketplaces, and we can talk about that a little bit later. Drop ship, obviously social, and the brick and mortar. And they try to connect everything together. So you can buy online, return in the store, or you can buy online, pick up in the store. Retailers are still trying to drive traffic to the stores, and it's hard because consumers are sitting on the couch and just clicking one button and product shows up next day. So the retailers that jumped into that bandwagon are doing really well.
I would add that the smart retailers are taking advantage of the opportunities like Kohl's. Look at what Kohl's has done. How brilliant was that? Literally, you can return your Amazon item to a Kohl's without any packaging, right? You walk in the front door, they position that little kiosk in the furthest point, so you walk past all of the content, all of the packaging, and then you get a receipt that has a 25% coupon on the back, and then you walk back out. I mean, that was a brilliant move.
Yep.
That's a strategy of partnering, right? With e-commerce.
And Staples just joined the team. So now Staples is looking at Kohl's and saying, oh my God, their sales went up since they started accepting Amazon returns. Staples is doing that. Consumers are great because I can go to Staples, I can go to UPS, I can go to Kohl's and return the product. So it's good for everybody.
Yep.
So Andy, you cut your teeth in the toy business, 20 plus years ago. And yeah, he's one of the smartest guys in the room. He lives in Cambridge, Massachusetts. You got Harvard is here, MIT's here, Andy's house is in the middle. So he's one of the smartest guys I've come to know in our space. The landscape's really cluttered in 2024. You've got clients and you're guiding them through what is it like to be a brand in 2024, and how do I survive? What do I need to know?
So it's cluttered, but the opportunities are everywhere. And the question is, how do you cut through that? And so I mentioned in my opening remarks that it started with television, and then there was a little digital, and there was a little Amazon. And now you have all these platforms, whether it's Facebook or Walmart.com or Amazon.com or the YouTube channel. And how do you pull all those things together? And it's important to understand what you know and what you don't know. And our clients don't know everything. They really don't. And we need to put together comprehensive teams that have expertise in all of these areas and to try and convince the clients to be transparent about their data and not to hide it and hold it in and think that they're doing something proprietary. When they begin to think that, it's a true statement. They're doing something proprietary and they're doing it wrong. But they're so, what was the, you went like this, they're trying to hold everything together.
Well, this sort of goes back to those of us who've been around long enough know in the early days of DRTV products, you kept that information secret. You didn't want to share it with anyone because they were going to knock you off. Apologies to any of my friends in the room from New Jersey.
So I shared this.
Specialize that, but
I shared this story when we were warming up about going to a lecture from the gentleman who started Jiffy Lube. And when he started, if someone came to one of his sites and was looking too long or had a camera, they called the police. They arrested them. They shooed them away. And then he realized that what he was doing was so hard, he invited them to come in and said, if you have a better idea, help me. Because it's really hard to change the oil on a car well. It's really hard to launch a product in this diverse and scattered market space. And it's important for our clients to recognize what they know and what they don't know, put together a transparent team, be transparent about their data, and then you can optimize and make things work. Because retail's not dead, it's just different. And we've got to go to where people are buying. People are still buying, and we got to go find them.
so if you've got clients who come in and have maybe been in the space for some time, and they ask you the question, well, look, is direct-to-consumer marketing, however I make my money, whatever channel, are the best days behind us? Or are there really still undiscovered opportunities, or opportunities maybe that just haven't been exploited to the extent that they can? What would you say to them?
If you have a really good product and you have a really good brand, the opportunities are everywhere. But if you're trying to do something against that backdrop, it's been the same. The product is king, and brands need to be developed.
Right.
And if you have that as the core, then there are really ingenious ways to do it. It's also become harder to go from zero to a big number very quickly. And there tends to be a longer growth pattern on that.
So that's interesting. So for folks who've done this for a while, it used to be, you'd throw it up, you'd sort of get a read, your bomb detector test, you grew up in linear media, you know that. And you're saying that, do you condition your clients, look, this is a build. You're going to start like this, and we're going to scale it to this, we're going to scale it to this, we're going to scale it to this. Is that the message?
It's part of the message. Sometimes you get lucky.
And they'll hear you.
And they'll hear you, or they'll have a product that takes off in certain ways. But yeah, the market space is so scattered and so forth. You have to look for the nuggets where it's working and figure out why it's working and build it. And also, it's really important to get direct control of your customers' information and not let them just disappear into an Amazon black box. But you need to my Amazon team is making eyes at me. So the more you can capture that customer and capture that customer for a lifetime, then you have a brand that you can deliver to that customer. And sometimes that means selling that customer something that's not yours, because it's not the best solution for them in that moment. And you have to be willing to do that in order to hold on to that customer.
Can brands in 2024 figure it out on their own, or do they need someone like you?
Some brands can figure it out on their own. But I think it's not me so much as there's a really talented group of suppliers in this industry dealing with TikTok or YouTube or Amazon or social media networks or how to position product at retail. And I think I started early by knowing what you know and what you don't know. And you're not going to know everything. And if you
that's okay.
And that is okay. In fact, it's good. Because if you pretend that you do know everything, you're just going to make the same mistakes again and again.
Yeah. Marianne, you grew up in linear TV media, and you segued nicely and successfully, and your business is almost entirely really based in digital video for the most part?
Not quite entirely, but yeah, we're moving in that direction, absolutely. And the reason that we did it is that we really saw the writing on the wall. We had an extremely challenging account that we still have since 2006. Some of you might know them, adamandeve.com. And it's just really tough to clear. So back in 2008, they said to us, get us some new customers. And of course, we ran all around to the radio stations and the TV outlets and couldn't get clearance. Or when we could get clearance, it was at midnight to 6A. And that just wasn't enough. So we learned how to create organic YouTube channels and monetize them for them. So on the back of a very challenging client, we really learned a strong skill set. And now consumer behavior has caught up even more with us because YouTube is, first off, it's the second largest trafficked website in the world. It's the second largest search engine in the world, and it's the second largest social media, even though people don't treat it quite like a regular social media like Instagram and so forth. So your customer is there, and if you look at the pie chart of the age demographics for YouTube, the millennials and the Gen Zers are the strongest, but the older generations, the 45 and 55 pluses, are really gaining segment there. And so you need to be there and you need to be discoverable there because they're going there for information, for validation, to understand the credibility about your product. And it's becoming, the next big step is shoppability. We have some tricks that we can do, but there's a lot going on with making videos shoppable and connecting that dot and getting the data.
So you focus very heavily on YouTube. Why? When you look at all that we talked about, how cluttered the marketplace is,
Yeah.
Is that a lead strategy for your clients?
I wouldn't say that it is a lead strategy. I would say that it is a really important next step component of their strategy. If they're a classic DR, it takes a little bit of time to gain that organic ranking. But if they are really looking at the long haul, lifetime value, hanging on to clients for a long time, potentially getting into retail, potentially a sale of their business, they need to have that component buttoned down.
Okay, so that's the top line on YouTube. I'm sorry, Andy.
No, but video still works. If you have a really good demonstrable product,
Yep.
video works. It works on Amazon.
Yep.
It works on YouTube. It works on Facebook. It works.
It makes everything work
And
better.
You were saying before, I think people prefer to get their information that way.
Absolutely. People are lazy. They don't want to read. They want it short and they want it to answer their questions.
Yeah, and the video ads convert much better than static ads.
Yep.
I mean, this data
Within
I have,
Amazon.
yeah.
Why?
Yep.
People are lazy.
Lazy.
They don't want to read stuff. I mean, text versus image and image versus video. It's like you get a lot more information with a lot less concentration reading through the stuff. So video has, if you look at Google data or Amazon data or any other big companies who do this, their conversion for the video is much higher.
So what's your message to the content creators in the room here, especially with video skills? And, our sponsor here.
Yeah.
These guys will want to hear this too. Their skills are not irrelevant. These are people who grew up creating content for linear TV originally. So what's the message for those people in the room?
I think that the DR tactics are very important in good video content.
But you say DR tactics?
Yeah, get
Well,
the
what does that
offer,
mean to
get
you?
the
What is
R
a
out.
DR tactic?
Well, do the research, know what problem you're solving, address it clearly, and I think that the biggest thing is that consumers are really impressed by good quality UGC. They really want something to look authentic and credible, and I actually really believe in lower production values versus higher production values. And so I think that's a message that high production value, you need that component, but I think you also need that really credible UGC that follows all the guides. We're not trying to hoodwink anybody here. There's all kinds of rules that we have to follow with it. But we've gotten really pretty good at creating good UGC that is really credible and follows the guidelines and moves the needle.
Do we need to change up the content depending on the channel? You mentioned really authentic. Consumers are perhaps conditioned to original content that they can create at home. And we referenced the Kardashians earlier. They were sort of the kings and queens of raw content. It's gotten more sophisticated over the years. So does the content need to be appropriate to the channel in terms of how it looks and feels?
I'm going to ask you a question on this one, because we did a product together, and the product had 100 different applications.
Yep.
Right? And the client wanted to share that with everybody. But what turned out to work better, I think, was very short pieces that the client could select. And some, I won't mention the product, but you want to talk about that a little bit?
Trying to remember what product it was.
That'd be Repel Well.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. We have a client that we've working with for 6 years, and they are not super sophisticated digital people. They are great people. They manufacture an amazing product, and we tried different iterations of the messaging. What would the message be? And now they're doing extremely well without even a lot of social media. They picked up speed on Amazon, and every week their orders are going up by 10-15%. So some of it is also obviously, once you get, with Amazon in particular, it's hard to get traction, but once you get traction, you can actually do extremely well without investing a lot of money within Amazon. And just talking about video, Amazon just launched a new program called Sponsored TV Ads. So essentially, Amazon is going to be placing video ads on digital channels, including their own. And I'm expecting that width of that program is going to grow pretty big. And if you commit to $15,000 ad revenue, they actually create the video for you. So Amazon Studio will create the video for you.
Didn't you do the keyword research on that product first, though? Isn't that really, because that's absolutely true in YouTube. Oops, I hit that. If you do the keyword research upfront and you know where your buckets are and you put it into your titles and you put it into your descriptions and you meta tag it beautifully, and then for us, our secret sauce is we go ahead and throw the backlinks at it. So we go out to all the Web 2.0 sites and the Quoras and the Facebooks and the Reddits, and we warm those audiences up, and we find the little places where people are talking about that category, and we throw the backlinks at it, and the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, just ranks it. They love nothing better, it loves nothing better than seeing additional traffic. So I think that's true on Amazon as well.
And no matter which platform it is, keyword research is very important, because
basic.
If you're not showing the product that the person is searching for, and if you don't have the high enough ranking, you'll never get a sale. I mean, like, we get a lot of customers say, I can help you with Amazon. No, I'm already on Amazon. It's like, okay, how are you doing? Like, I got 3 sales last month. So what are you doing with, I put my listings up. High school kid can put Amazon listing up, it's just filling out a form. But that's where it doesn't end. That's where actually the challenge starts. You have to figure out the competition, you have to look at the search volume, you have to figure out the keywords, you have to create ads for those keywords. So it's a complicated process that most people don't realize that it's complicated.
It's because there's so much competition.
Yeah.
So we started talking about, is traditional retail dead? And I guess it gets to be an even more confusing question, because define retail.
Right.
Is it retail as I know it, where I used to have to get in the car and go drive somewhere? Is it e-tail, which can mean a lot of things to a lot of people? We're now talking in 2024 about digital marketplaces. Ranjit, what are they and why should I care?
So the grandfather of marketplaces was eBay, right? You list your product up, you do all the shipping and everything, eBay took a commission. Amazon perfected that model, right? I worked at Amazon back in 2004. We were just building the marketplace. 60% of all Amazon revenue comes from a marketplace. So I'll give you an analogy. Marketplace is like you're a brand, you're renting a shop in a mall. The mall people will drive traffic, they will promote it, they'll keep the streets clean, they'll take your garbage out, but you're responsible for your own brand. So if I'm a brand selling on either Amazon, and obviously Walmart, Target have followed the suit, they all have marketplaces. Essentially, you list a product, you're responsible for your pricing, your content, you have to follow the rules and regulation. You can also advertise on the marketplace. If you get a sale, Amazon will take a commission. So they don't buy your inventory, you own your inventory, whether you keep your inventory in a warehouse or use Amazon to ship it or Walmart to ship it, right? They all have warehouses, they will ship it, you get prime 2-day delivery. So the reason for the whole marketplace is the retailer doesn't have to buy inventory, but they get a commission if they sell. So the retailers, smart retailers, are saying, okay, what searches are people doing on my website that are returning a null result? So people are looking for diapers. And God, I don't have diapers. So I go get a bunch of top diaper sellers and say, get on my marketplace. Now I have diapers on my marketplace. Some retailers are saying, you know, it would be nice to expand the category. You know, we've been always in fashion, but how about pets? And you can now create a new category and test it out. It doesn't work. You don't really lose anything because you haven't bought any inventory. I think for retailers, the biggest challenge when I worked at the Canadian retailer is boatload of inventory sitting in warehouses with no returns. And so the marketplace is actually a great place, a great model, because I'm not buying inventory. Seller is the person who's selling the brand owns the listing quality and owns the price, most importantly. So everybody's doing marketplace. I mean, we start with Walmart, Amazon, Target. Then you go to Macy's, Nordstrom, Best Buy. They're all launching marketplaces. But for a consumer, the experience can be almost transparent. I can go buy a product. Sometimes it ships from the retailer, sometimes it ships from the brand. But that's really the main difference.
Wasn't that exactly Andy's point earlier about sometimes it's better to sell somebody else's product to suit them rather than try to sort of square peg round hole situation.
Or have them leave and never come back.
That's right.
Right. But so as the marketplace has gotten more diverse, attributing what action drives what sale has become harder and harder to parse.
Yes.
And I have never had don't take this wrong, a media company say, I was over attributed on that sale. Please take these sales and attribute them to this other campaign, right? And somehow we're data people. That's what we do. We analyze data every hour, every day, every week, and look at what's working and what's not working.
Right.
And sometimes we get reports from all these various channels, and wow, we sold 150% more product than we sold.
Sure.
So there's a tendency for some reporting just sort of overemphasize. Is it the last touch? Is it the first touch? How many touches were there? Who got the sale? And you really have to take a cross-channel look at all of that stuff and really be critical about what you do and where you spend your dollars.
Okay, so if I'm sitting out there, I'm thinking, oh my God, my head is spinning. All these marketplaces, what matters? In 2024, which ones matter the most?
From a brand perspective, they almost have to match what the retailers are doing to get the best benefit. So the retailers are saying, I'm going to launch dropship marketplace and I'm going to do social commerce. So brands have to kind of adapt to that and emphasize those particular strategies.
I would say learn your consumers' behavior. And if you know where they are, make that your priority.
Or find out where they are.
Find out where they are.
Okay.
We launched a product once and found that we had a really strong market in the transvestite market in Alabama.
And how big a market is that?
All four
Not
of them.
enough to sustain a product. But it led us to understand how we had to change the marketing of this product and what it was about. And we were able to establish it in the market space. And sometimes you never know where you're going to learn something new. You never know. But keep your eyes open, and there'll be some nugget, some piece of information that's coming from a social media post, that's coming from your Amazon sales, your YouTube conversions, your own website conversions, and there's something you can build a product and a brand off of.
Yeah, I mean, something we used to always say at Amazon, test and learn. That means Amazon launches so many programs and they kill so many programs, right? One day it's a big deal, next day it's gone. Test and learn. And the second one was fail fast. So test and learn. As soon as you know it's not going to work, just get out of it.
Get out.
That really will save you a lot of money.
All right, so we've talked for years, in the early days of social, how do I monetize this? Why all the brands wanted to talk about, I need a seat at the table because my customers are at the table, they're talking about my brand, I better be at the table, or they're just going to be talking about me and I'm not going to have a say. So brands would spend money but didn't understand how to monetize it. Then we have over here our e-commerce lane, right? So we've got e-commerce over here, social over here, and now we're talking about social commerce. What is it and why should I care?
Did you point at Andy?
Yeah, but I'm going to start here.
You can pass it on to me if you want.
Well, I would say that it is evolving. absolutely. So currently, Google is pretty much a black box when it comes to attribution for YouTube. We know our clients are there. We know they are going to YouTube to gather information and watch the content. They're going for a lot of different reasons. They want to be entertained and they want to investigate problems. How to is the biggest keyword there. But I would say that there are some indications that there's going to be an opening of that information within the next year to 18 months. And in the meantime, we are looking at GA4 and BigQuery and finding those connections there. We can use all the traditional links, and I don't know if you guys have looked at enough YouTube to know there's sometimes that little, once we get partner status, we can get you a % of the revenue that they are gathering from your advertising that they're putting into your content, and expand the little I dot. So we're working on all the ways to monetize it, and we're going to continue to work on that.
You've got some strong feelings, I know, about social and e-com and whether or not they should stay in their own lanes, or is there a marriage of the two?
Yeah, I always have strong feelings about everything. I was just looking at history, right? Amazon tried to launch a lot of different social media programs, and they killed them all. Meta, Facebook has been trying to launch their marketplace and e-commerce and all that, and they kind of not getting much traction. I think they both realize that they own their own domain, but they need to have a bridge between the domains, because if I'm on social media, if I click on an ad, I open up a new window, I'm never going to buy the product. So recently, Amazon, it's in beta, launched a program where if I click on a Facebook ad, it opens up a buy window in Facebook where I can say, oh, I'm an Amazon customer, you already have all my information,
right.
Buy. And you're done, and you're back in Facebook. You're not leaving the window. I expect the conversion from that program is going to be phenomenal. If I click on an ad on Facebook, I have intention to buy. If on Amazon, I get delivered next day, Prime, no questions asked, done deal. So that's one of the programs that I'm super excited about. And there's another one that Amazon launched, where the influencers now can create videos, and it's called a Creator Connection program. So you can give your product to a bunch of influencers and say, hey, make me a video and get in this program. And if the consumer clicks on that, they come to Amazon, buy the product, Amazon pays the influencer money. So a lot of influencers saying, hey, that's pretty cool. I can make money off of Amazon. We launched a couple of clients, and one of them is doing phenomenal. And it's a cleaning shoe protector kind of product. I would have never thought that it would generate 100 sales from that program. So I think the e-commerce people are kind of saying, okay, let's just partner with social media rather than trying to build our own.
And
so
YouTube,
it's been kind of a shakeout career as well. Everyone figures out what lane they should be in and falling back on their core competencies.
And YouTube has the answer to that as well. They're working on the answer to that with shoppable video, and they currently are partnered with Shopify. So, and it's in beta, and not everyone has access, and it's going to be perfect, and eventually it's going to open up to all the different e-commerce platforms.
Well, why you two are focusing, because the 800-pound gorillas in this marketplace are Amazon and YouTube. So, and you wrote a lot of the rules for Amazon for vendor partner rules when you were there many, many years ago. Give us the top line for 2024. What's new? Why should I care? What do I need to know about the way Amazon's doing business that are going to help me in this year?
Yeah, I mean, with Amazon, every month they launch a new program. I mean, we spend half our time studying what's happening, not just with Amazon, but with YouTube, with Facebook, because everybody's doing new programs. And we're always trying to figure out, hey, how would it benefit our clients, and what is the connection? How do we connect all the dots? So there's a lot of, Amazon's doing a lot of different things. I mentioned AI is another one. There's an article in the magazine that we wrote. In the old days, you would hire a studio, hire people to do your coffee machine shots. Now you just go to Amazon and say, I have a coffee machine. Here's a picture of the coffee machine. I want office, I want kitchen, I want Christmas, I want Thanksgiving. And Amazon will generate all of those images literally on the spot, where you would have coffee machine, kids eating croissant, mom's doing something, and you can just pick and choose, you can fine tune it, and now you got your lifestyle imagery. That's another cool program that I'm super excited about. We don't have access to it yet, but it's going to save our clients so much money because, and you can experiment, right? You can do A/B testing, you can change your image almost every 15 minutes if you wanted to. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay.
But that's true if it solves a problem, right? You can't just
of
throw
course.
generic video at something. You've got to be responsive to your client. Video still works, good creative works, good products rule, and the way to get to them is just changed. And so it's not just buy an ad on Big Nick or Fox News or whatever it is. You have 250 or 500 or 1,000 different platforms. And that seems daunting, but at the core, it's a good video message around a value proposition. And you mentioned something very quickly, and I want to go back to it. One click to purchase.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you've seen something and you like it, it's bought. And that's where Amazon has a real advantage and where Facebook is trying to figure out what to do. But great piece of content. Oh, I not only want that, I need that. And it's there.
I would argue that a lot of people research and want more information before they buy.
Right.
And I think for those people, you have to be discoverable everywhere that they want to search.
Okay, before we get too far off on a tangent, let's see Eileen's taking copious notes out there for her clients. YouTube, what do I need to know in 2024? Top line for it.
I would say changes are coming. I would say your consumer and your target is already there. And I would say that if you are not well optimized to be discovered there, that you are handing that lead that you paid for in DRTV and went to YouTube and searched, you're handing it to your competitor. And get ready now so that you're well poised.
Okay. Andy, we've covered a lot of ground. 2024, let's go back to the basics. What are the biggest barriers to launching a campaign in this uber complex marketplace that we've been talking about?
The biggest barrier that we see is what I talked about before, is where people want to not be transparent about what they're doing, what their data is. And you can't launch something on every platform simultaneously across the world. It's not going to work. But if you have people who are doing Facebook work well, and you have people who are doing Amazon work well, and you have people who are doing TikTok well, those people need to talk to each other, and the company needs to share that data. So, because data still rules. It does, and you can't make stuff. Our clients make stuff up.
The agencies can also help each other because if you're on Amazon, if you're getting traction on 6 keywords, I give it to Marianne. And now she knows what keywords to emphasize in YouTube. So all boats float up, like they say.
Yep.
The rising
All
water.
boats rise with the tide.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
And I'll try
One
to
of
help
those.
you out with one of
Appreciate
those
that.
idioms.
Did you want to cut us off, Jack?
No,
Yeah.
I actually, you said something that intrigued me a minute ago. You said all clients lie,
Lie.
or do they just delude themselves?
I think they delude themselves. I think that's it. Yeah.
I think they delude themselves, and they think in this really fast-changing world that they know best.
Yeah.
And what they know best,
Well, tell us how you disabuse them of that notion.
it's really hard because they know a lot of things, and their teams are really good. But you have to build a trusting relationship that works. Nothing works better than to say, hey, if you reduce your 60-second ad to 30, your media costs will get cut in half and your sales are going to double, and that happens. That's lucky. But most of our clients we've had for a long, long time, right? But even there, they're still stuck a little bit in the past world. I'm going to use another media reference for a moment. In the movie Moneyball, when the manager of the Oakland A's is trying to build a new team, he says, adapt or die. And the companies that we're working with, it's time to adapt because the world is just so much different.
Do you use that line?
I'm going to now.
I mean, I think it's an attention-getting line. If I'm a client and you open the meeting and say, look, be honest, adapt or die, and you can back it up, I would think that's going to resonate with some clients. They've taken the time to take a meeting with you.
And it can also be fun.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you're willing to expose yourself to what you know and what you don't know, and you get a dynamic group together, it's fun to be around a good product and to think about how to market it and who your customer is and where they are and how are we going to get this to them. And it doesn't all have to be scary.
You know what I say?
Here's what I wanna know,
What
if I
I say
may.
all the time, Jack, is you don't actually pay me to be a yes lady. You really don't. You pay me to challenge
tell them
you.
that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
And sometimes I get a little like, oh, brother.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, really, you've got to challenge
So you
your
roll
clients.
your eyes before you lay that line
No,
on.
they're rolling their
Okay,
eyes.
I'm sure that works well. All right, here's
If
what I
there's
want to
trust
know.
built up, you can get
Andy,
away
I
with
wanna
that.
know This. So we've talked about this really complicated landscape. If I'm a marketer or a brand, can I afford to be here and not be building my brand in 2024 because I've got to be everywhere all at once? Or can I still be looking at this product and thinking about it as a campaign? Which way do I need to go? I mean, is there a rule of the road in 2024?
Our view is that product is still king, and you can't just launch a mediocre product into a brand and have it do well. That'll damage the product and damage your brand. And so from our view, the product is still king. Having said that, the brand message is really important, and to be consistent, and it takes years to get that out there, and you can't just be flying in the wind. You really have to be committed
So
to
do you ever tell a client, someone reaches out to you
Yes.
first time, you don't have a long-term relationship, and they say, look, I've got this, you have got to see my mop. You've not seen before what my mop can do.
I know that guy.
And he lives in New Jersey. No. Do you ever tell them, no, product is king, that's not it?
Yeah, we do. You have to turn people.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
We do too. Because Amazon has everything, right? We always get clients saying that I got this gizmo or this supplement or whatever it is. First thing we do is we do an audit to look at the opportunity on Amazon, because you have to look at two things. One, how big is the space? How big is the demand for that particular category? And then how many people are competing in those categories, and who owns the category, right? So if you look at all of those three things, we can, in some cases we say, I recommend not selling the product on Amazon. You will never surface beyond all of these people, or the category is so small and niche. Your search volume, we look at obviously search volume and competitive analysis and all that. So we take, just we're talking generically, we take customers that we like, customers that have really good product, and customers that have money to market. So that's our criteria usually. But we do analysis, and we basically discourage them.
When you tell someone, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, Amazon's huge. I don't think your product, not now, not
Yeah.
ever.
It's not the
how do
place
they
to
react?
start.
They usually say, I have a cousin whose name is Vinny. he just graduated from college. That kid is so smart. He knows Amazon inside out. So that's usually what happens. Or they try to do it themselves.
Go knock yourself out?
Yeah.
Is that what you say? Okay.
But they don't
Good
want
luck.
bad news. And it's hard
No,
sometimes.
it
to
is.
do that. And they're wedded to their product, as
Yeah.
we all are.
Passionate.
Right.
We love our products,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, you guys are really smart. And we talked about, you said this earlier, Andy, the landscape is shifting, not by the year, not by the month, sometimes by the day. How do you guys stay smart? How do you stay connected? How do you know what's going on?
We've built over the years a group and of companies that we work with, and they're new companies that come into it, and we talk to each other. And we're not as shy about what we're doing and sharing with each other, and we learn from each other. Ranjit just called me the other day and said, hey, Andy, have you heard about this? I said, no, I haven't, but I'm going to learn about it now, and I can return the favor.
Yeah.
And so, and it's not just with my 26-year-old son or 28-year-old son who's a technological whiz. He is. His marketing skills are not great.
Did you tell him that?
I have. I made the comment before, it can be fun if you're willing to accept the fact that, Ranjit, I don't know about that. Talk to me about it. And, I can apply this part of it or I can't. And so it's that communication.
So you're suggesting for people, build your network because that's how you're going to stay smart, stay current, stay relevant?
Yep, and don't be siloed in your own little,
We
Right.
spend, a part of our team spends about, I wouldn't say half, but significant amount of time keeping up with the industry. going through all the rag, looking at all the announcements,
So you're reading
signing
a
up
ton,
with
it sounds like.
signing
Okay.
up with beta programs, and then out of 100 things we look at, 3 or 4 are very relevant and can really help our clients, and that's
Yep.
how we keep current.
I wasn't going to bring this, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say be open and listen and research.
Well, you made an interesting comment. We were talking earlier about generational differences.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
you relating how that helps keep you smart, and sometimes
It
it
can
isn't
be
always
very-
information going one way.
It can be very
Speak to that.
frustrating to work with younger, very savvy. I don't even know how to describe it, but I think everybody's had this experience. However, if you listen, you could really learn a lot.
Yeah.
And I find that younger people who are more comfortable with technology, they grew up with it, it's more second nature to them, they can really bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I still
Right,
have to
right
go to the
So-
library to study
Yep.
and learn about things.
Yep.
Just kidding.
So my company's called Hands On Consulting. 80% of our business is in the DR space. I'm also launching 2 really exciting AI projects. And I'm happy to share what I learned with you. I really am. And it's Ranjit referred to it, it's really exciting. And there are applications in ways that we can't even imagine at the moment. And so,
Yep.
um,
Ditto.
ditto.
Okay, so lots going on. Let's fast forward a year. It's January of 2025. We just closed the books. Fiscal 24 is over. We've talked about retail. Is retail dead? The marketplace is complicated. What's the headline? What happened in 2024 that if I'm out here, I need to know? That's what's looking forward. That's what's going to happen this year. Start with you, Andy. What's the headline for 2024?
I know that I'm going to be surprised by something that worked that caught me off guard. And I don't know where it's going to come from. It's going to be out of left field, all the good work that I've done. But it's by being open to those things that something is going, wow, this worked, and we can leverage off that, and we can build a product, and we can build a brand. And I'm confident that that's going to emerge.
Okay, your headline, 2024.
I would
Fill in the
say
blank.
consumers don't really need you. It's sad to hear and hard to hear, but there are so many choices and so much competition that the only way I think you're going to win at this game is to really understand their behaviors, where they are, what they do, where they go, and meet them in that space.
Ranjit, what's your headline?
I think the brands that jump on the AI bandwagon, I'm not saying start writing code, but taking advantage of all the tools that are going to be available, social commerce angles that are going to be, I think it's going to, every e-commerce platform is going to marry every social platform. Always happens. Amazon and Meta starts, Google and Shopify, everybody's going to connect with everybody. So we got to figure out if you have a Shopify store or a big commerce store or any other platform, how do you take advantage of that? And personally, my passion is marketplaces, because I've seen a retailer grow business from $0 to $80 million new revenue in 12 months by launching a marketplace. I launched it. So that I'm very excited about what Nordstrom is going to do, Macy's going to do, Lowe's is going to do, Michaels. They're all launching marketplaces.
So
That's
you're
going to
saying
change.
2024 is going to be the year of the marketplace
Year of the marketplace, AI and social commerce
and social commerce. That's
and Cuban
Okay.
sandwiches.
It's a long headline, but we're going to take. Okay, that's pretty cool. There's a lot here. My head is spinning, and I lost the bet because my bet was that we were going to make it through this entire hour and no one was going to talk about AI. Thank you. Anyway, well, we could come back. We could do that at another time. Nobody stormed out of the room, so I think no one was PO'd, and nobody threw anything either. So either they're snoozing or not. Hey, so we are right up against it, guys. There are a couple. Are there any questions, comments, or still time to throw something if you'd like? Wow. This
Throw
group-
it, Jack.
Thank you. No, well, no,
I know they were good, but did they cover it? All of it? Questions? Yes, you are that good.
Wow.
They're just all
Yes, you are that good.
completely
Well, good.
confused.
So
We got one. We got one.
Throw us a bone.
Hi, good conversation. Now, we're all talking retail as far as companies with products so they can buy online, like Amazon, Walmart, Target, all the retail media networks, which is a big part of media buying now. But when we talk about retail, there's also, like we said, there's people who have stores, and they don't have e-commerce sites. So I guess that's more of a conversation about media buying performance. That's why we're here, and how you guys might, encourage, measure clients who don't have e-commerce stores. Are you in that space? And just more of a discussion about retail media performance when the call to action is come into my store because there's no online commerce to click.
Oh boy.
That's a tough one.
I don't have clients in that space. I think that most of our clients, even if they started in retail, have recognized the opportunity of e-commerce and have opened up to that.
I'll give you an example without mentioning any names. The company I work for has 80 plus stores, big stores. Retail sales are down. Part of the strategy was, do we double down on the e-commerce and marketplace or double down on the store? So for a period of time, we were doubling down on the store. Promotion, street people, come here, did not work at all. And as a result, the investment that they could have done in e-commerce was taken away and put in the store. So that was a mistake. And so that's the only experience I can share with you.
We track retail behavior very carefully, and for large stores and small stores. And the difficulty there is the lag time between what you do media-wise or message-wise and how long it takes to measure that by in-store behavior. Yeah. But you can track it, and you measure different things. You look at interest and some of the social media taglines about, I hate this word, so I'm going to use it, engagement. And there are things that you can do at a local level where you're trying to build community in that store. It doesn't have that immediate direct hit to, we did this ad and we saw this kind of behavior online. Yeah. You can anticipate that will translate to what's happening at the store level. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Yeah, but we do look at, we have tracked specific products at very small stores and look to see what we can do to influence them.
You can, for example, instead of clicking to an online purchase, you can click and maybe get a mobile coupon, and then you can validate that in a store, and that could be a way to measure, because each coupon promo code might be different by the channel and those kinds of things. But that's for another topic. Just saying.
Yeah, you have to get creative.
Anybody else while we have a minute left?
I want to just comment one point about that, and that is that in general, we are seeing this one client, very traditional coupon codes, offer codes, they have died off. I mean, we thought the business was just going to heck in a handbasket, and the truth of the matter is, it wasn't. Client people, because of Amazon, don't think they need them, and they think they can have anything they want at any point in time that they want, and they just don't spend time holding on to a coupon code anymore. So we have to find ways to attribute that traffic and that activity differently, and that's what we've worked really hard on.
Mr. Tom, all yours.
It's a round of applause for this great group. Thank you.